Hey guys, I'm back with another video. Today there's a new patch coming to the game, so it's 3.14.0 patch that is already live in EU and Korea and will be live on Tuesday, May the 23rd in NA. Now I'll go quickly through the things that are actually in my opinion important in the patch. I won't be going through co-op things because I don't play co-op, so I don't really know what those mean. But one of the most important things, I guess, that a lot of people will love is the Tastosis pack, voice pack is coming to the game. So I'll definitely be buying that. So you're gonna see that on my stream, and that should be a lot of fun. Like I'm really excited to hear all the phrases they did and how that works out. Now, another thing that I added that I was not aware at all up until I was about to make this video is there's 3 new skins coming to the game that I didn't see anywhere like marketed. So I don't know if I missed it or it just wasn't promoted. But either way, Amon's Armada Carrier skin, Aquatic Broodlord skin, and Mecha Viking skin. So I'll show you guys how those look like. You can see the top left is the new Viking, the middle is the new Carrier, and then the Broodlord. And this is how they will be looking in game. So I think out of the 3, the Broodlord is the one that I'm least excited about. The Carrier is the second, so you can obviously see the changes on the Carrier. So that's going to be quite interesting. But the unit that will see probably the most usage in the game is the new Viking that I think looks super cool. And you know, I can't wait to use it and have it in my games when I play. Now, to go back to the patch notes, so they added like a new option for changing your color in game. So previously it was in gameplay. Now they changed it so it has its own like kind of settings, I guess. I don't know what to call it. And the most important thing probably in this patch is the balanced patch notes, and that's what probably most of you guys are looking forward to. So I'm gonna go quickly through them and I'll tell you guys what I think like always. So let's start with the Thor. Thor armor increased from 1 to 2 and Thor morph time reduced from 2.5 to 1.79. Now, I was really disappointed when they announced that they're not going to do the damage Thor change that they first wanted to do, which was Thor being from 6+6 to light to 12 straight up against everything. They decided against it, which I'm really sad about, and they decided to go with this route. So the morph time in this patch is the transformation from Thor having an AoE attack to Thor having single target attack. I'm not really sure how useful this will be. Like, is anyone really going to use this to its like potential? Like, I don't think you will ever use this in a fight. You know, it's not like I'm going to be fighting mutas and I'm going to be like transforming into single target to fight Broodlords. So, I mean, this like change is like one of those things where it's like cool. I don't think it will ever come into play as in like coming into like clutch, you know, times where you gotta switch really quickly. But I guess it's gonna morph faster by 0.7 seconds. Cool. Anyway, the Thor armor, so it got buffed from 1 to 2. Now, I've discussed this on my stream. A lot of people, well, some people think this is a big thing. I personally think this will not change a lot. Some people were worried like, oh, now you're gonna do proxy Thor rushes and it's gonna be unstoppable. It won't change anything, to be completely honest. Proxy Thor in TVT, for example, you don't defend it with Marines and Cyclones anyway. You defend it with Siege Tanks or a Liberator or something like that. So it's not like you will see, you know, proxy Thors everywhere. In TVZ, obviously that won't be viable at all, simply because Zerg can scout. And then in TVP, even though the armor buff is a plus, the Protoss units have usually a high damage and slow attack rate, so or attack speed. So while this is a buff, it won't change too much. And again, if everyone starts doing proxy Thor, then Protosses will just scout with the probe and find your proxies. So overall, it's a buff for sure. But I mentioned this before. Thor's problem is not to survive against Zerglings, like Blizzard mentioned. Thor's problem is the unit itself doesn't do anything that other Terran units cannot do better. If you're fighting against air units, Viking will do a better job. If you're fighting against ground units, siege tanks or marines will do a better job. So it's kind of like a support unit, but it doesn't really excel in anything except like blocking paths with how big the unit is. So for Thor changes, even though it's a buff, I don't like the path that Blizzard chose, so thumbs down for me. Now, the Raven auto turret, I actually did math about this and calculations how the Raven will be in after the patch. So basically with this change, Raven will have, I think, more damage at the end of its duration, but it will be less burst damage. So this means that the Raven will be less powerful in the early game, but as you go into the late game, it will be better and better simply because you can use it with 2 base pushes. The auto turrets will last almost 3 seconds longer. And like I said, the damage at the end of its duration, I think will be like 10, 20, 30 more. I can't remember the exact calculations, but this damage per shot will be less. So you kind of lose on the value when you harass drones or SCVs in the early game, because now it will require 3 shots to kill a worker. But as you approach mid and late game, the Raven will be better because A, more damage, and 2, it will last longer, which is kind of more important when you do those big engagements. Compared to if you drop a lot of auto turrets now, a lot of them will expire and the opponent can just kind of just pull away and wait for them to go away. I like the auto turret change. I'm not sure how much it will change the early game ZVT, especially as in a nerf, because Ravens are used early game to harass the drone line. But as far as TVT goes, I'm super happy for this change because, to be honest, I hated TVT and auto turrets just killing my mineral line super fast, and you're kind of both running into each other's mineral lines with Ravens killing SCVs. So overall, I like this change, so thumbs up for me. Now, Tempest, kinetic overload damage increased from 13 plus 14 to massive to 30 plus 22 to massive. So Blizzard has mentioned that people have kind of stopped using Tempest to hard counter or counter massive units like battle cruisers or broodlords. So they wanted to buff it to get used more. This was kind of a weird buff, but I'm pretty sure the Protoss players will like it because I had the impression that Tempest still countered those units, massive units, with the amount of damage that they do and range that they have. But I guess Blizzard wanted to buff them, so I don't think any Protoss player will complain about this. Void Ray prismatic alignment slows down the Void Ray by 40% while active. Now this is actually a pretty big nerf for the early game as well as the super late game. Now this was really weird to me because Void Rays were units that were not really used a lot in any matchup. Like you could see it sometimes in the TVP early game when the Protoss would Void Ray all in, or in PvZ in the late game when they make Void Rays to kill Corruptors. But they weren't like a super popular unit. It started popping out in PvP recently as well. So I didn't really think there was a need for Blizzard to nerf Void Rays, but I'm pretty sure, just like the Tempest buff and Protoss is being happy, I'm pretty sure that the Zerg and Terran players will love this change. Because now in the late game when they play against Zerg, if they turn on prismatic alignment, the Void Rays cannot run anymore, and they cannot chase the units either. So once the Protoss activates prismatic alignment, if they activate it on all the Void Rays, you can simply just move away and re-engage them once it's over. Although the Protosses should probably be using them now, like maybe 30% of their army use prismatic alignment, so if the Zerg runs away, they can still use the ability on the other Void Rays, so it doesn't get wasted. As far as TVP goes, Um, you guys probably experienced Void Ray All-In, which is actually my previous video, how to defend Void Ray All-Ins, which is pretty funny. So what this means is if the Protoss goes for like one base prismatic um, alignment, like push or bust on your bunkers or missile turrets, what this means is once the Protoss goes for it, they're super committed, so they won't be able to just run away from your Vikings or run away from your Marines. They will be committed, and the push itself will be even more all-in than before. And another good thing is your Vikings will be able to kite the Void Rays extremely easily if they turn on Prismatic Alignment. So Protoss players, if they're doing the Void Ray All-In, they have to be super careful with how they use it and to actually use it at correct moment. And the last Protoss change is Zealot charge upgrade cost lower from 200 to 100. I don't mind this change, but this is one of those things that Blizzard is kind of missing the point here. They said that the reason for this is everyone's making adepts, and they kind of wanted to make charge lots more of a thing in Protoss Army, and they wanted people to go charge lots early game. Now, what Blizzard is missing is people are not skipping Zealots because they're bad or too expensive. They're skipping them because Adepts are filling this exact same role, except they're probably twice as better as the Zealots in the early game and probably the late game. So that is the real reason people don't make Zealots, not because the Zealot upgrade charge was too expensive. So I don't actually think this will change anything. I don't think we'll be seeing, Protosses charging, upgrading charge super quick instead of resonating glaives for Adepts. It's one of the things that Terran and Zerg players don't really mind, but you won't really see this make a huge impact in PvP. I can see it being very beneficial in PvZ because a lot of Protosses do get charged pretty early if they go for Immortal, Archon, Zealot compositions. So Protoss players, good buff for them, but as far as PvT goes, it won't really change a lot. And now the Zerg changes are not actually like balance changes per se. Roach gets undetected burrow, move visual effects are now more visible, and then Infestor has the same thing. So undetected burrow, move visual effects are now be more visible. Okay. So actually the people haven't played yet on this new patch, so I don't know exactly how that looks like. But the people that did, they said that they don't really see any difference and the units are not really visible at all. Still, like, you have to pay super close attention to see those units. So I guess I'll have to play and see, but from what I've heard, it won't really change a lot. And that's pretty much it. There's no more balance updates. There's some bug fixes that you guys can check out on the Battle.net. And like I said, the co-op mission stuff that I don't play, so I can't really give any input on that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe for more future videos. And let me know in the comments what do you think about these new balance updates, especially the Thor ones. And let me know if you plan to buy the Tastosis voice pack and the new Viking skin, or perhaps the Carrier and the Broodlord one as well. I know I'm getting the Tastosis voice pack for sure, so you guys are probably going to hear that quite a lot on my stream. Once again, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.